as you can see from the title of this video, I ran into my first real problem with this car. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what happened and where I stand now. So, the other day, leaving work, ripping on the car, having fun, doing my thing, heading up to my mom's, no problem. I get close to her house, drivetrain malfunction. Alright, a little weird. This happens every once in a while, randomly. You turn it off, you turn it back on, the car's fine. So, figured I'd do that, went inside, had my dinner, came back out, still on the second I turned it on. So, at the time, I was thinking about turning on my burbles. So I had my MHD plugged in anyway, because I was like, I want to turn them back on. I'll do it when I get home, and I'll see what these codes are. Wastegate malfunction in on the second wastegate. So that's the one that's up top. The turbo that's up top, closest to, luckily, where you could get to it. That's pretty simple. So I figured, okay, if I have to do the actuator or whatnot, no problem, all right? But then I noticed something else that was weird. I have a dash cam hardwired, so that's a constant draw on the battery. I saw that my dash cam was stuck from the middle of the day, so I was like, it just hasn't done anything. I unplugged it, did whatever, put it back on, rebooted normally. So I figured, okay, we're either having battery issues or we're having a legitimate wastegate issue. This is strange that it happened both at the same time. Very unfortunate. As you're going to see on the screen at some point, I put the codes that... I'm going to put a screenshot of the codes that I was getting. It looks serious. Genuinely. Looks like, okay, this is going to be like a thousand or two to fix this. Didn't really stress about it. I figured, okay, I need to do the battery, and I need to do, I guess, the wastegate actuator. Hopefully not the actual rod and the gate and everything, but some of the guys in the Facebook group said that you're probably gonna have to do that or just the actuator. Yesterday at work, I ordered the battery. I work for a shop, nice little discounted rate, thank God. And we put it in later in the day. One of the things I was noticing was I would lock my car and the alarm would start going off. I would lock my car, walk away, a couple seconds later the alarm would start going off. So my boss said, probably a low voltage thing. I figured, yeah, probably a low voltage thing. The battery needs to be changed. So changing the battery, fixed that. By the way, changing the battery on this car, super annoying. And I'm going to get into something else that popped up from doing the battery. So yeah, super annoying to change the battery. Changed the battery, the locking thing went away. We're good now, I think. And the wastegate codes did clear. I was like, oh damn, that's nice, because before, when I would clear them, they would come right back on right away. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, there's definitely something wrong with this. But, believe it or not, the battery was so cooked that it was throwing random codes. And there was one other guy that said, yep, when my battery was cooked, it would just throw the most random codes. He said he was getting knock sensor codes and stuff like that and misfire codes when there was no evidence of that. So I was like, okay, that took care of that, thank God. And now, my trunk will not open or close. Last night, I guess, we didn't watch a YouTube video to see how to replace it when we were doing it, so some of the bolts that looked like it was holding the brace to the battery were actually the trunk latch bolts. So, we undid those, trunk latch fell out. Okay, whatever, we ended up putting it back in. And now, the trunk is not registering like it's there. It says that it's open. Last night it was open. The button wouldn't work to close it, so we kind of forced it closed. Figured, okay, maybe that'll, reset something. And then I go to try to open it. Says it's open when it's closed, will not open. So now I'm going to figure out what is the issue that lies there, you know what I mean? Luckily, like I said, the battery did help the wastegate codes, which sounds insane. That doesn't make any sense, but the battery life was on 16%. That's way too low, and had to get changed. I guess that really tampers with the system since everything's electronic anyway. And yeah, so long story short, I was like, this will probably get fixed within the next 2 weeks. I'll take a break. I got a couple of videos I could upload, but no, we're good, I guess, driving wise. But I'm on my way to figure out the trunk situation. Hopefully it's not a big deal. you know, might have to go back to the dealership for something like this if we can't figure it out. But one of the techs at my job did say, oh, you're going to have a problem with the trunk latch when you're doing it. So I'm bringing it to him to see if he can try to figure that out. Either way, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that shit. Remember that if you're getting weird codes that don't really seem to make sense, check the battery. Check the battery life on that thing. You know, I would have never guessed that a battery being low would throw wastegate codes out of all things. Super weird, so keep that in mind. You know, it's not all bad. I was prepared to spend like $3,000 for between the battery and then doing the labor and the actuators or the wastegate itself. And luckily we don't have to do that, so it just costs me like the battery. Okay, so to put it simply, we did find the problem with the latch. It was actually, so I guess when we undid it, we were just undoing shit. It must have dropped, unplugged, and we didn't realize that there was a plug that went into it. So we managed to, unfortunately the trunk would not open. We had to, I have a spare tire, so the thing that folds up, we had to unbolt that, take it out, take out all the foam and whatnot, of course. And then we managed to see that the latch was not plugged in. So pain in the ass, definitely avoidable. Make sure you look up a YouTube video on how to do it. I will probably in the future make a video on how to replace it, even though I don't need to replace it now, but I'll go through all the steps on how to do it. It was very simple, but a pain in the ass at the same time because of the brace that they put around the battery. Super unnecessary, but hey, that's BMW for you. But we are good to go now. The trunk opens and closes as normal. The codes are gone, thank God. The battery is back to normal. No alarms going off. I'm happy. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.